Earlier you talked about social norms is very important, and how using understanding it could help shaping people's behavior. What can we do to understand social norms that are often complex and multifaceted?
I think I've lost the last question, sorry.
So, yeah, what can
you faded about social norms?
Yeah, the social norms are often very complex, multifaceted. So how can a policymaker really understand how complex the social norms is and choose what is relevant to build up that solutions?
Yeah, no, it's a big and deep question. When I work with the public sector or private sector, it's important to say, okay, rather than, I'll give you an example. Okay, so a few years ago, I was working with what was quaintly called then the Labour government. And I was working with an agency, and we were asked to look at devising an anti-bullying policy. This was about 10 years ago, maybe now. And before that, it was all, don't be a bully, it's bad, it's antisocial, you're a horrible person. And we looked at it, but we looked at some research, particularly from the US. And what they had done is they used social norms. And they said, actually, how many people do you think carry out bullying in this school or in this university or in society? And people would say, I don't know, 5, 10, 20%. The figure was actually about 0.5%. It's tiny. So they did this campaign that said, hardly anyone bullies. Why should you? So it was creating the norm, saying actually bullying is actually quite rare. So actually there's no need. It was a really completely different way of doing it. Rather than saying, don't do it, it's horrible, it's violent, it's whatever. It just said, actually, it's quite rare. It doesn't really happen that much. And that plays into something that's called broken windows theory, which Malcolm Gladwell talks about. So in the States in the 70s in New York, there was terrible violence and terrible destruction, terrible antisocial behavior. And they tried more policing, they tried more laws and harsher penalties. But what they found, the best thing to do was clear up all the smashed windows and get rid of the graffiti. Because when all the windows were smashed and things were broken and there was graffiti, it encourages people to say, look at the chaos. It doesn't matter what you do. Whereas if you clean it all up, the norm is actually, oh, that looks fine, I'm not going to destroy it. So sometimes the social norm thing is quite subtle, and it's completely different to what most communication agencies and ad agencies do. They're very keen on pointing fingers and doing attitude changing. But social norm, finding something you can get people to rally around and say, yes, we all do that. We all believe bullying is bad, and therefore we won't do it. Sometimes can be a completely different way of doing that sort of a campaign, rather than, as I say, just doing this finger pointing stuff.
Yeah,